In this video, I'm going to go through a somewhat simplified version of, of the gas price calculator. Excuse my voice, it's raining out today and it's making it make me cough a lot. My dogs are also running around, so if you hear that, that's what that is. Okay, so I've started here by simplifying the file a little bit. I put an example out there before where I went through and used the split twice to get the file into a list in this form. Okay, for this one, I just went ahead and made it simpler. I went into the editor and replaced all of the dashes with commas and all of the colons with commas. Okay, just makes things easier to deal with. Okay, so I'm going to start by being able to get this data in here. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Got my in file equals open, and it should be called gas prices. Hope it's in the right place. .txt. Okay, that needs to be in quotes. And I'm opening it up in reading mode. Okay, and the reason I went ahead and made this all commas, it's just going to make this easier to get it into a list. Okay, so I can do it a lot more quickly. Okay, so again, I want to go line by line. So I'm going to get line be equal to infile.readLine. Okay, then it's going to go ahead and print that line. I just want to make sure I'm getting the whole line. Make sure nothing weird's going on. So then I'm going to do my infile.close. Okay. And of course, I was so excited about that, I forgot to put in my main function, which you need to do on the exam. So easy enough to fix that. And you notice that I do have some comments there, so I'm not reneging on that. I would have my name typically if I were a student. I'm going to call main down here. Okay. So if I run this, I just want to see if I'm getting this first line. That's not the first line, by the way. Make sure we're over here. That's toward the end. I can move the elevator bar. Whoop, I can grab it. It's not letting me do that. Why not? I don't know why it's not letting me do that. There we go. All the way to the top. So this should be the first record. Okay. Let's run this. I'm going to call this, see, GP for gas at price.py. Okay. And we are getting the first line. Okay. So that should be good. Okay. So now that we have this line, we're going to do that while line not equal to nothing. No, not space, nothing. Okay. Which is going to go through until the end. Okay. And I'm going to create, I can call it G if I want, this empty list. Okay. Because I want to be able to get one giant list of things. Okay. I think I'm just doing this right now. So let me think if there's another way to do that. If I can do it line by line. You know, I may not have to do that. I may be able to do it a different way. Let's try it a different way first. Okay. So I do need, though, one thing I do need to think about, again, think about the data structures, which is the phase we're moving into. If I want to be able to keep, I want to get an average per year. Let's say I'm working on that. Okay. So I'll go ahead and put that up here. That's what I'm trying to find out. Average per year. Okay. So I'm going to create a data structure to hold those years. Okay. So I have from 93 to 2013. Okay. So if I assume that 93 is in the 0th position. Okay. So I've got 93 goes to 2003. So it's 20 years. Okay. It may be maybe 19, maybe 21. We'll have to see here. Okay. So let's do it this way. So if I'm going to say, I'm going to let, let's say the count is going to be equal to an array. Okay. Now I want to do, actually, I want to put zeros there. So I want to do the 0 list times 20. Okay. And then just to make sure I've got my number correctly, if we do a 4x in count, okay, that's going to go through and that's going to be all zeros. So let me do C equals 0. I want to see what the indexes are. That's what I want to do. So let's do it this way. Oh, I can do that. So let me do for, so let's do a year is equal to 1993. Okay, then I want to do a for x and count, go through all of those, and I want to print year plus, so the 1993 plus 0. This should go from 93 to 2013. If it doesn't, no, sorry, not 0, 0 the first time, it's plus x. If it doesn't, then I'm off by 1 on the 20. That's just checking. I could have done something different, but this seemed easier. What doesn't it like? So why is it? Oh, because I'm not doing anything here. So it didn't like that because I started a while ago doing it. So I'm not going to do that yet. So let's get through here first. Okay, run this one. And there we go. They're all 93. Why is that? So print year plus, oh, x is always 0. That is why I can't do that. Okay, so I can do for x in range 20. See if 20 is the correct number. Don't you love when your program does exactly what you want instead of what you need it to do or what you tell it to do? Okay, so that's not enough. So I do need 21. That's what I suspected. Okay, that's called an off by 1 error, and it's kind of a thing. Okay, so this is actually the initial year, so we can use that later on. So we got a count now. Okay, and I'm going to do an average also the same way. Okay. And what I'm doing here, I'm going, instead of trying to store variables, I saw some of your homework problems where you go through the variables and set up one for each year, and that gets cumbersome. So I'm going to use a list for that. Okay, so now I've got count has 21 zeros in it, and I've got average has 21 zeros, which corresponds, the 0 is 1993. I keep adding up, and then the 20th one, which is in the 21st position, should be a 2013. Okay, I think that's correct. Yeah, I still could be off. If I'm off, we'll have to figure it out. But anyway, this should get us close. Okay, so the idea now is that I can go through and get my first line. Okay, and while there's stuff in the line, okay, so while it's not blank, okay, I want to be able to get the year from the file. Okay, so it should be line comes in as a string. Okay, so I have to do something like or we do a y for year. Y is equal to line dot split on a comma. Now I may need to get rid of, in fact, let's go ahead and do a line is equal to line dot r strip that new line character, just to make sure. Okay, and then I'm going to split that. So now I have y. Now let's just go ahead and print out what that y sub 0, 1, 2. So it should be y sub 2 should be the years. Okay. And then again, I have to do a line is equal to end file dot read line to get the next line. Okay. Let's see if this in fact gives us all the years. And it does. See 94, 95, 96, 97, and so forth. Okay. I don't know. I didn't look at the data. Yeah, these may not have the same number. Okay, so we've got that up to 2015. We're good. That's fine. Okay, so now instead of that, once we have y, the interest here is that I want to update the sum. Okay. And the total per year. Okay. So to do this, if the first one's in 1993, I want to put it in the 0 position. Okay. So I have to take 1993 minus the init year. Okay. So I should be able to say that count of the Y3 minus the initial year. Okay, plus equals 1. Okay, and then at the end, let's print count. See if this is going to work to store our data. Okay, maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Nope, doesn't like something on line 18. Let's take a look at line 18. That's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted over here. Line 18. Okay, it doesn't like that. Okay, so why does it not like that? So unsupported operand type for the minus. A string and an int. Oh, that's right, because this is an int. This is a string, so I have to do an int of that. Okay. Try that. Okay, something different now. We're now on line 18. Probably the same problem. No. Invalid literal for int with base 10. Okay, so it's getting, oh, that's an int. Okay, which is okay, but that shouldn't be the 1.0680. Oh, it's a 2, not a 3. That's the trouble. That's the trouble. Well, I was getting a value error. It was going to the 1.068, which of course gave me a value error. Let's run it again. You were seeing the nitty gritty on this one. Okay, there we go. So this is doing the count per year, or count per year. So you could go through and count those up if you want, but I'm going to assume that those are reasonable numbers. Okay, so I've updated the count finally. Okay, so I also have to update. Let's not call it average, let's call it sum. Okay. So for the sum, I can say again that sum of the int y2, that's going to get us in the right year, minus the init year, again, that's going to get us to the right position in the sum, plus equals float y 0, 1, 2, 3, y3. Okay. So then let me print both count and sum. See if that makes sense. Okay. See if I've done something nutty there. Could have. Okay. Okay. So we've got those numbers. We've got numbers that look fairly reasonable. Okay. So now that I have the count and the sum, I can go through and get the average. Okay. So, and I'm no longer in the while, so I'm back out here. Okay. So we're going to calculate the average. Okay. So we have the count and we have the year, sorry, the count and the sum. Okay. So I can do an average is equal to a blank line here. Okay. And then I can do for a count in range 21. Is that what I want? Maybe. We'll see. But I want to do an average dot append. I want to take the sum of C and divide it by the count of C. Okay. And then I want to print that average. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, those look like reasonable averages. Okay, so we're on the way here. I think we're getting there. So now to print this out, now that we have average, okay, so we're going to do again for C in range 21. Okay, so we're going to get the printouts. Okay, so we're going to print first the year. Okay, so the year is going to come from that initial thing that we did. Where we keep track of that? That's the int year. Oh no, it's going to come. It's going to be C is going to be 0 the first time, so it's going to be the C minus the init year. Okay, let's see if this is working first. Oh, going the wrong way. Why is it going the wrong way? Oh no, it's plus. Plus, not minus. Which maybe plus the other place too. Okay, that's working. But does that mean that this is working? So I'm going to update. Yeah, this should be plus 2. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, now we're out of range. Why are we out of range? Okay, so what I'm saying here, oh, because I have it the other way around. It's all minus. Let's see. Yeah, I need to think about that more. But this, if this is correct and this is correct, then I can print out that, and then I can print out the average. Okay, the AVG. Let's do a format on here. We're going to do that as a, let's say, a 0.2 F. Okay, let's see if this works. No. Why doesn't it like that? Unsupported format string. Oh, it's got to be AVG sub C. That's what it wants. That's what it wants. Okay. Yeah. So this looks reasonable to me, right? I hope this was confusing. I understand these are confusing programs, but let's go ahead and put in. So we've got the year. Then let's put in a tab. Put in that format. That. Looks better. Before we get there, let's go ahead. And again, this is the print out the average. Okay, I'm going to start with a print of the titles. Okay, so we're going to say year, and then a tab for the average. Okay. Then a new line character. Let's run that. Okay, yeah, so there we go. Okay, so let's go back through this and see what we've done. Okay, so the idea here is to avoid a bunch of variables. We're going to use a list because that's what data structures do. Okay. And I'm going to peg 1993 to 0. Okay. And I'm going to make 21 zeros in this one and 21 zeros in that one, just so we can go through. Okay. So I'm then going through the file here. I'll read in the line. Again, I've changed the line just to be commas. So I can do just one split, get everything that I want. Okay. I'm going to put it into this Y is going to be line by line. It's going to be a list of the month, day, year, and the total or the average or the price. Sorry. So then again, all line by line, I can update this position in the count. So 0 is going to end up in 1993 and 2013 is going to end up in 20. I think that's how that works. So I'm going to increase the count because we're not sure how many there are. And then I'm also going to increase the sum by that average. Then I get another line, keep going. Okay. I'm closing my file. I could actually close my file up here. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. At this point, we're done with the file. So we can do an end file close. Again, your program may work without closing it, but we found in the lab the other day that it doesn't work if you're writing. In this case, we're not writing. So there I'm closing the file. Then I can calculate the average. I'm doing an average just as a new list here, because that's a bracket. And then I'm going through and I'm going to add to average from the positions from 0 to 20, the sum divided by the count. So I've calculated this, updated the count and the sum every time through. Again, I couldn't do this with tuples because they're changing the internal things every time. Okay. So when we get done, we've got the average we're appending to it, the sum at the count and the count at that year or that position. Okay. We're then going through and going and adding or going through all of these averages and printing them out with their associated year. Again, we're keeping track of the year by position. Okay. And that seems to be working okay. We could put some maybe lines in there. If we really want to make it look nice, so we could print. Okay. Okay, that may work. Whatever we do. Okay. So once all this is working, now we have to think about which exceptions to worry about. Okay. So I'm going to cover this entire thing, all of my code, hit the tab. I can go back and add my try. Okay. And then after all the code, I can worry about the exceptions I'm going to need. Okay. And here are the exceptions I need. First off, I'm using a file, so I know I'm going to need an except IO error as ERR. I'm just going to print these out this way. You may want to do different error messages, but for me, that's going to be enough. Okay. Other things I have to worry about, I'm using lists. Okay. So count, sum, and average are all lists. So that means I have to add an except on the index error, or yeah, index error. Error in there. Remember, it should turn purple. Okay. Again, as ERR. It's the ERR. Okay. I'm doing a float, which means there's a value error. Okay, so I have to do an except value error as ERR. Write that ERR. Okay. And something we haven't seen a ton of, but because we're doing this division, if there's a year where there's no data, let's say that 1998 had no data at all, then this would pop up as a 0 and cause a 0 division error. Okay. So I have to have that exception as well. And it is. I got lucky there. It is 0 division error. I know because it turns purple as ERR, and then print ERR. Okay. And I think that's all we need. I can't think of any others. Okay, so we've got the IO. This one kind of has it all. It has the IO, the index, the value error, the 0 division error. That should cover it. Okay. So that should work. That wasn't the whole problem, but that should give you an idea. So again, the key points to this in terms of studying for the exam, okay, we have the file handling. Okay, we're pulling up a file. Okay, we're doing the line here, we're doing the loop for the file, making sure we do read the next line down here. Okay, we're also creating some lists here. We're using list as a data structure. So that's something else we're doing. Okay, we're doing an R strip on our file, and we're doing a split, which are very important functions from lists. Okay, so we're going through for each line in the file. We're stripping it into its component parts, making it a list. We're then counting up the number and then getting a sum there as well. Okay, we're then just going through and calculating an average based on that, and then we're printing out that average with the year. Okay, and again, we're using 0 is 1993 since that's our first year, and then I've added this init year as a constant just so we can keep adding that or subtracting it from the years. Okay. Okay, so I did that live just now, so it wasn't always pretty. It wasn't always in a straightforward direction, but hopefully it makes sense. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and post this to YouTube and put the link on Moodle. If you have questions about this, make sure that you let me know. Okay.